It's another beautiful day, and we're going to continue with working on this particular app. Welcome back. I want to first of all let you know that this is a very good time where we're going to continue to work on our app. The app that we are working on, it's called Kept. It allows people to store various items and be able to record where they have stored these items so that they can be able to identify them whenever they need them. And we earlier worked on our onboarding process, which was quite fascinating and enriching. And now we are working on the post onboarding screens. We've created the initial setup of these screens, and now we are trying to refine them. We are trying to refine each and every one of them to ensure that they are set up very well in terms of the UI. Remember, I told you that one of the most important things that you're going to look at when you are creating screens is refining screens to look much more better. So what do we have here? We have several screens. When you come to our post onboarding screens, we have the home screens, which is the memory hub. It shows most of the folders where you've stored your items. And when you look at it, currently we have the home, the office, car, motorbike. So you could add on as many as you like, but these are the ones that we have currently in our app as we are still in the development process. So when you come here in the spaces you can be able to create accounts. We have these kinds of accounts. So several items are stored in accounts, and you can be able to add on various accounts. And in each account we have these items. This is how the items are laid out here, which is quite good. But we are going to start from refining a little bit of this screen, and then after this we can be able to go to other items. So if you want to view that particular item, you can go here and be able to view the exact place where you have placed this item. So what are we solving? In terms of the problem that we're solving, we are solving the problem of someone forgetting where they place their items. There are very many instances where me personally as a person, I forget the various items that are placed in different places, which is quite frustrating. So I saw this problem, and I feel like it is something that people face across the world. So I'm building an app for this. I'm going to call upon the people who have not yet subscribed. Please subscribe. When you subscribe, you keep me accountable. Remember, I'm on the road to hit $500,000 from Vibe coded apps. So if you want to be a part of the journey, if you want to learn something along the way, if you want to see how this journey is going to unfold and how we are going to get from the place where we are currently to where we are going, please subscribe, and first of all keep me accountable. And I believe you're going to learn in the process, and also for the each and every subsequent stream that you're going to have, it's going to become even much more better. So if you want to be a part of the journey, please subscribe. So this is what we are working on so far. We are going to start with this screen, and then we are going to proceed with other screens effectively well. So let's continue. Someone told me it's from Nigeria. I'm very glad that you're tuning in. That's good. And they are saying they love programming. Programming is good because when you program, one of the things that you're going to learn when you're programming is that you're going to widen your base in terms of how you understand things, what you can do. And on this channel, I can assure you that you're going to learn lots and lots of things of how you can approach each and every problem that you're trying to solve. Remember, what we do, we have a problem-centric approach. And what is the problem-centric approach? The problem-centric approach is that we try as much as possible to focus on solving a particular problem. So when we are building apps, for us it's not really just about creating these apps, but it's about solving a particular problem, which is quite important. And when you are solving a problem, you get to look at the app you're you're working on in terms of how you get to solve this problem from the context of the users themselves, not from your context, which becomes even much more better. Which becomes much more better. So let's continue to work on this particular feature, rather this particular screen, because when you look at this screen, we've already set up some of the things that we have. There are a few things that you're going to set up. So you see, we have animated this screen that when someone comes, they can be able to view these items. The images, they have that kind of continuous sliding element that is quite looking good. But also when you click on this and you open up this particular screen, when you go back to the previous screen, you get to see that this one is widened and then it goes back, which is a very good thing. One of the things that I focus on when I'm creating apps, I focus on what I refer to as micro animations. Micro animations are very good because when you're creating these apps, you want people to feel good. So it is not really just about the creation of the apps and who are going to use them and how they use them. You want to ensure that the people who are using these apps feel good when they are using the apps, which is a better thing when you're working on them. So we are going to refine this particular screen because currently when you look at what we have, these elements, which is the home, and the number of the title, which is the subtext, they are quite below. So you want to remove this back button because you already have this back button and you're going to push them up. So let's put in a request. So now we are going to work on this particular screen, and we are making a refinement in terms of we are working on this particular screen that I've referenced, and we are making a refinement. We have on this screen we have a header text and we have a subtext. Currently these elements are way below. First of all, we are going to shift them. I want you to shift them to be in the same, actually to place them in the same kind of row where we have the back button. And for the back button, we are going to remove them. So that means you are going to move the text up. You are going to decrease on the height of the header that contains these two texts, the header text and the subtext, and you're going to ensure that when it comes to the distance in between the cards and this header, that it is well split, that when it comes to the first card that is contained on this list, its top width area is visible with its shadow effect visible very well, because currently the header is blurring them and they are not quite visible. So those are the changes that we are going to make. So let's reference our master prompt. So for the master prompt, this is a document that I've prepared which contains a well laid out structured instructions that we use for each and every prompt. So the process is, I give these instructions normally just like you would give any instructions. Then I use the master prompt to restructure them, because the master prompt has a well set prompt structure that I use for each and every request. And then I add in other instructions that act as guardrails to guard the agent to ensure that it sticks to what is required for this app. Because remember, we have constant things like fonts, things like light mode, dark mode. So we want it to maintain those things as it is making refinements, and that is why we use the master prompt, and then we add in some other instructions that are in other documents. So let's conclude this instruction. So now when it comes to the master prompt, I want you to restructure this particular instruction using the prompt structure that is in the master prompt to produce a well-detailed implementation plan that we are going to use to ensure that these refinements are made very well. So let me reference these. So you're also going to, we are referencing 3 documents: the skills, the front end skills, and the themes. So when it comes to the skills, it's mostly containing information on how we are supposed to structure the setup and of our code, and how we are supposed to structure our code base, and in terms of the code quality. So when it comes to the front end skills, that entails how we are supposed to set up the front end, which is quite important, because remember, when you're working with these agents, it's mostly what you input and how you're going to get the output. So you want to make these instructions even before you start off. So actually what I do before I start off my process, I have already created what I call a boilerplate. I use that boilerplate in the start, but even with the boilerplate, I have a master prompt, and I have different kinds of skills for the front end UI, the look of the element itself, and other documents like the themes. The theme contains things like the fonts that we are the agent is supposed to use. They're supposed to be constant. We also have in the themes, we also have the font colors, the light mode and dark mode instructions that the agent is supposed to follow. So the reason that's why I reference them each and every request, because it makes sense for the agent to fully understand what I'm working on and to follow that structure. Because when he follows that structure, then you're going to have something that is quite streamlined, much more better than what you would have if you are just giving generic instructions. So let's continue. So now when it comes to these particular documents that I've referenced, I want you to look into them. They have certain rules that are set that govern how we approach refinements in our app. Ensure that they are adhered to when you are creating the implementation plan. I'm going to look at it, and then we shall proceed to make these changes. So let's make those changes. So what we're trying to make, we are trying to push these elements up and remove this button, because we already have this which is up. So I believe when we remove it, it's much more better to push it up and get a much more better setup. So the people who have not yet subscribed, the ones who have not yet liked the video, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, like the video. Let's hit at least 200 likes today on this particular video, and I believe it's going to be a fruitful process for us. So now the implementation plan is set up. So like I told you, we have different sections of our implementation plan. We have the task, which is rather the smallest instructions of what particularly we are working on. We have the context. The context is the full layout of what we are working on, which is quite important. Then we have the issues. The issues explain what is not really set out right and how we are going to refine it. The request. So the request details each and everything that the agent is going to work on and refine. That is quite important. We have the notes, the things that are not supposed to change, things that we are going to maintain. The persona, how the agent is going to act like, which is quite important. Also the format. The format is also quite important. So let's proceed and see this refinement made. So I think we've extended this a bit further, but currently we have them on the same line, which is quite not what we wanted. So let's push these. We are going to put a follow-up request. So now when it comes to these texts, you've extended them up. What you're going to do, I want you to push the home a little bit further up, and ensure that the subtext is right below. So with the home, so we're going to push the header rather, because it uses so we're going to ensure that the subtext is right below the header text, and we are going to align all these texts in the center from the right to the left. So that is the refinement that we are going to make, a particular refinement that you are going to make on this particular screen. So let's accept this, and let's put in another request, so that we make this change. So we are just refining this. Currently, this is how the cards are going to look. We can also yeah, that is perfect. That is good. That is perfect. So the animation we have, this the home element kind of goes back and becomes small as we scroll away. But even when you look at our elements, when you try to shift these elements, they are shiftable. They slide. When you slide them on to the left hand side, they are slidable, and you can be able to see the share button and the delete button, which is quite good. So these are mostly animations that we input because we want users to have a better experience with our app. Also, when you click on this particular card and you open up the screen that contains the details of that were stored by the user, if you go back here, when you click on it and you go back, so you see that that card has expanded, then it's going to go back, which is quite a very good animation that we have. So we include these micro animations because they are very important. The micro animations allow users to fully enjoy the experience of your app. Yes, you might be giving a simplistic functionality, but when it comes to converting users and retaining them, they want to feel like they had a better experience, which is much more better than before they came to use your app. And that is basically what we are doing with most of our screens. So we have set instructions that allow us to make these kinds of animations. So let's make refinements to these animations just a little bit. So we already have micro animations for this particular screen, and we are going to make refinements for these two particular animations. Now when we slide the cards from to the left hand side, the cards slide very well. However, they do not reveal when they slide, they do not reveal the full. We cannot be able to view both the share button and the delete button in full. The share button is a bit cut off, so we need to refine that so that these are viewable. And also, I believe that the better practice would be that if we slide one card, the card slides very well. But when we try to slide another, the other one that has been slid before goes back. So that would be a better practice, so that we don't have very many cards slid at the same time. So that would be a better practice. The other factor that you are going to follow is that when we click on a certain card and we go to the item details screen, when we come back, it's a bit expanded, but it takes a lot of time to go back to the original state. So we need to take at least 1 to 2 seconds after we come back to from the item details screen to the accounts screen for it to go back, for that card to go back, which is a better way for the users to see the micro interaction in real time. So without altering any other functionalities, I want you to work on these particular elements. So let's use our master prompt. So I want you to write a fresh implementation plan for these refinements that we are going to make, and ensure that you use the prompt structure that is in the master prompt document I'm referencing. So let's use these which are quite important. Now ensure that for the implementation plan that you're going to set up for this request, all the rules that are set up in this document are adhered to, in terms of ensuring that we maintain consistency within our app. So let me reference this. So now when it comes to the micro animations, I want you to look at the peak end UX framework, which is detailed with what you are supposed to do when we are approaching these kinds of animations, and ensure that the elements or the refinements that you're going to make adhere to what is recommended when it comes to these particular rules about micro interactions in this peak end framework. So please give me the detailed implementation plan. I will look at it, and then we go forward with making refinements. So now I reference lots of documents because it's very important for you to first of all understand that when you don't have these frameworks set up, that you work with, skills that you've built, or in terms of certain instructions that you want your agents to follow when they are working on your app, they're going to distort lots of things, and you are going to have to repetitively work on the same things. So the reason as why I try to reference them for each and every request is because I don't want to repetitively work on the same things. I want to refine something, and after I've refined it, I want to go to the next screen when I've completed it, which saves up. It's going to save you up on the tokens first of all, and that means you're going to save up on any plan that you've paid for any tool. If you're using Cloud Code, you're going to save up. If you're using Google Anti-Gravity, and maybe you've paid for plans that allow you to use Gemini plus Cloud Code, it's also going to work out very well for you. So the reason is for giving these detailed instructions is to allow you to the agent to fully understand what you're working on, what it is supposed to do, what it is not supposed to do, for you to get a better experience when you're dealing and building with it. And you want to guide it for it not to do what it feels is right. And that is why we give the instructions in a much more detailed way. I'm going to call upon the people who have not yet subscribed to please subscribe and join this community. We are a community that is gearing towards hitting $500,000 from vibe coded apps, and I'm going to vibe code these apps live when you're seeing. I know there are different kinds of channels that show various frameworks of how they are working, but they don't show you the full process. I'm here to show you the full process of how I get to vibe code. The details, the nitty-gritties, and the processes of how I get to work screen by screen, the things I use, how I prompt, how I go about each and every step. And I believe these steps are going to get you from point A to B in how you make your approaches. But also I believe I'm going to learn lots and lots of things from you. So if you have anything that you want to compliment, anything that you want to ask, please go in the comment section, and please let me know what you'd want to say in terms of maybe a question, maybe a compliment, anything. I'm very much willing to link up with you there, and so that we can chat and explore even much more about these apps that we are setting up. Please like the video, because when you like the video, it's going to go out to even much more people even after when we finish the stream, and that is something that I'm working towards, to ensure that we expand this community until when we reach a point when we are going to hit the volume of $500,000, and I believe we are going to hit it, because currently we are on 1,500, which is quite a very good figure. We got that from several web apps that we've vibe coded. You can go back in the last streams and look at it, and I believe it's going to be a better experience. Now we've made these refinements, and I'm going to check on them. But before I check on them, if you've not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe. When you subscribe, you become, first of all, you become part of this community. But secondly, you're one of the people who's going to keep me accountable on this journey. We've just moved a few steps on this journey. We are currently on 1,500. We are gearing towards hitting $500,000 from vibe coded apps. So be part of the journey. Support me. Go in the comment section. Ask anything. So someone is asking, what is the app that we're working? We are working on a very simple app now. Let me try to go back, and then we are going to look at the elements that we've worked on now. This is our app. It's an app that allows people to store various items. People forget different kinds of items. So we allow them, let's say you want to keep maybe certain books. You go to where you keep your books, maybe a bookshelf. You place your book there. And when you place it there, you record that I've placed my book, it's in the bedroom, but in the bedroom, I've placed it on the shelf, and I've placed it on the third shelf. So you keep records of where you keep your things, so that when you need them later, you can be able to access them. So that is what it is all about. I hope I've explained that. And now we are working on mostly the screens that we have in our app. So this is how we are going to arrange it. We have these folders, and with the folders, you can be able to add on a folder. You can be able to add on a folder. Let's go and check. You can be able to add on an account here. So this is how you add on the space. Add account. So when you click here, you can be able to add the name of the account. Let's say bedroom. So with the bedroom, you can choose any color of for the folder, and then when you click create space, that's when you are able to view it from here. We've not yet we are still working on the front end. We've not yet worked on the back end. We are not keeping information on our local computer, because we've been working on several projects, so we don't want to clog the computer. We want to first work on the front end, and then for the back end, we are going to use Firebase to work on it. So I'm going to call upon the people who have not yet subscribed to please subscribe. Join this journey. When you join this journey, you're going to further motivate me to showcase this process until the end, when we hit $500,000, which is quite good. So let's go and check on the screen that we worked on, because this was the screen that we worked on. Let's go back. So this screen is very good. What we are working on, this micro interaction. Which is good. We wanted it to show that way, to expand and then take us to the item screen, and then when we go back, it goes back, which is quite implemented well. Now when we also go to this one, we can slide it and we are able to view these buttons very well. Previously they were not viewable effectively well, but now we can view them effectively well. So that is what we have worked on. Now we are going to go to the next screen, which is the item screen. Now the item screen is set up very well, but now I see a few things that we can refine. Now on this item screen, these cards are set up very well. I believe the cards are fine. They're just fine. When we go here, what we are going to have, we have a functionality where when you've set up your item, or where you've stored your item, when you go here, you can even you can be able to print this particular card, so you can look at it. This is the basic layout of the card, but you are going to revamp it. But still, for the people who are not or who are not used to the light mode, you can go here. We have the dark mode. So we have the dark mode of our app. So you can check out the app in the dark mode. So this is how it looks in the dark mode. Dark mode is also good. You can be able to check out this very same functionalities if you're using dark mode. So we've configured both light and dark mode, which is quite good. So even when you slide in the dark mode, you are able to view these elements. So we've configured it that when you slide a card, one card opens, the other goes back, which is quite a very good way. So when we have these animations, yes, it would be fine for it to be just a layout, a simple layout, but when you have these animations, they are quite good and they help us to make the experience even much more better. So the animations help users to have a better experience, which is quite good. So let's go to the detail. Let's go back to the light mode, because the light mode is good. We will be able to view whatever we want in terms of the functionalities quite well. So let's go back here. Let's go to our screen that we are going to refine. We are going to refine this screen. When you look at it, we have two back buttons. We are going to maintain the one that is up. For this, the title, we are going to emulate the very same space where we placed it for the previous accounts screen. So we are going to refine this particular screen. So we are going to work on the refinement of the items details screen. What we are going to refine currently, we are going to ensure that when it comes to the title of the header, currently I'm seeing a string which is item.details. So let's I think just type it, item.details dash title. So what we are supposed to view here, we are supposed to view the real name of the title, not the string that is in the code. So let's go below. Also for the button, that takes us to the printable card. When I look at its text, it is showing item.print. We are not supposed to view this string, but rather we are supposed to view the real name of this particular card. So we are going to refine those. As you are making these refinements, ensure that we adhere to the translation logic for other languages, so that when we translate our app, we change it to other languages, we are able to view the right translations. When it comes to the header text, I want you to ensure that you place it exactly in the same position where you placed the header text for the screen. So let's reference the other screen that we worked on, where the header text is placed very well. So that means that for this reference screen that has its header text placed very well, you are going to copy it and place it there, even for this particular screen that we are working on. Also, when it comes to the back button, that is in the same row with the header text, you are going to remove it because we already have a back button on this particular screen app. So work on these particular details and ensure that they are refined very well. So let's reference our master prompt. This master prompt harmonizes all our requests. Remember, we have set instructions in these master prompts and how we should structure each request. So we are going to harmonize this request. Now it's just a normal request. We are going to harmonize it into an engineer level kind of structure, which is set up in our master prompt. Now, as you are creating the implementation plan for this request, ensure that you use the prompt structure that is in the master prompt document that I've referenced in the markdown file. So let's reference other documents. These are quite important given that we are making refinements that include changing logic for the language and ensuring that the text are quite translatable. We need to reference these. These are very important because when you don't set rules when you are creating your apps, it's going to be quite difficult for you to maneuver when you are going forward with the work that you're doing. You are going to have to make reprompts and reprompts. So I have set these documents. They are quite important. I think I'm going to get a stream where I'm explaining mostly these documents so that we understand them, but it will be later. They are documents that guide the way we create our UI, how we maintain our fonts, how we maintain our colors throughout the app, the sizes of the fonts, each and every, our cards, how we design the cards. So they are already set up. They guide us in creating a detailed implementation plan as we are refining the screens. So now, given that you're making refinements to this particular screen, as you're creating the implementation plan, ensure that the rules that are in these particular documents are adhered to for consistency throughout our app. So let's reference the peak document. I'm going to talk about it. Now, this document that I'm referencing, it's quite also important. We have a peak end framework. So what is a peak end framework? It's a framework that allows users to get a very good experience when they are using your app. You want them to get certain nudges in terms of the micro interactions that you're going to add to the app, but they want to feel them when they are using your app. You want them to feel like your app is a quality app when they are using it, even when you have a few functionalities, because for us we have one functionality, but we want to make the experience of the user to become much more better, so that when they are paying for this, if they are renewing maybe they have made a payment and maybe they are undergoing a trial, or maybe they are making a renewal of their trial that they paid last month or last week, or if maybe they have made an annual payment, we want them to feel good with the experience that they have received on our app. So this particular document, which is the peak end user experience framework, it details each and everything. Actually, it's a long document that has over 23 pages that details what the agent should do when it is building micro interactions into any particular screen. So let's give the instruction. Now, when it comes to building micro interactions that are going to increase on the experience, the user experience of users on this particular screen, look at the rules that are set out on the peak end document, and in the implementation plan suggest micro interactions that are going to make be added on this particular screen to make the user experience even much more better and unforgettable for our user when they are working with this particular screen, when they are on it, or maybe when they are leaving the screen. Provide me with the implementation plan. I'm going to review what you've set out, and then we shall proceed to make this particular change. I know certain people really love to hurry when they are making refinements to their app. I would prefer that you have these documents set out, because when you have these documents, when they are set out and you're working with them, then the agent is going to act as a code assistant. You truly know what you want to build. So it's not just going to take over your coding sessions, but it's going to work with you to make the experience of the app even much more better when you're building, because remember, you are building for people, and people are quite psychological, so they are going to want you to give them a better experience that goes beyond only the functional value. So that is why we take time when we are building out our prompts. I'm going to call upon the people who have not yet subscribed to please subscribe, keep me accountable. The journey is much more important as the product. I regard that the journey is important. That is the reason that's why I'm showcasing the journey. The journey is much more important as the product. So when you keep me accountable by subscribing, even watching more streams, it becomes quite good for me, and also it shows me that that there are people following up the journey, and I'm also going to continue until when we hit the set figures effectively well. So thank you very much. Someone is asking me to be their mentor. I'm very much willing to be your mentor. I'm setting up I'm nearly setting up a Discord channel where we'll be able to link up, post the streams, and we can be able to talk about. So someone is asking, how did I make the $1,500? I made it from a single platform that I've been working on. It's called the Entuga tour automation platform. It's an automation platform that allows users to create itineraries, be able to send these itineraries out to their clients, track their emails, be able to liaise with the trips when the money comes in, to make reservations of various items like accommodation, food, and various items that are very essential when people are booking trips. So it's a full tour automation platform that I've built for a certain company. It's called Entuga Safaris. So that's how I earn the money. So let me put it here. So thank you very much for our brother from Nigeria. Thank you very much for the gift. I'm very much obliged for the gifts. If there is anyone else who feels like they should support the channel in any way, I'm very thankful for that. So now we have the implementation plan which is set out. Let's go and review it. As we review it, for the people who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, because when you subscribe, you keep me accountable. And I also feel like it's a very fruitful journey when there are people who are following up and they are trying to learn in the process, and I can assure you that the experience is going to be much more better for each and every stream. So now we have this implementation plan. So I want you to look at it. I remember I've explained it before that we have a detailed implementation plan. You don't want the agent to just go in and do things, but you want it to fully understand what it is going to work on and be able to work on it. So most of the things it has put in things like micro interactions that we've suggested, but also it is following our framework. Our framework in the prompt, it has the task which is quite the simple explanation of what you're going to work on, the context, we have the issue, the things that it's supposed to refine, the request which is detailed with all the things, the note, what it is supposed to add here to its persona. So here it's acting as a senior we are saying the persona, it's saying and we're giving it instructions that you are a senior React native plus expert engineer specializing in psychology driven user experience design and high performance reanimated 3 animations. So it knows what it is going to act like. You don't just want to give it generic instructions, because when you give generic instructions you may not get what you want, but if you explain fully you're going to get what you want. We also have the format, so it is all set. We have a detailed implementation plan. So let's proceed. Let's give it permission to proceed and work on this. Let's give it permission to proceed and work on that. For the people who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, because when you subscribe you keep me accountable in the process, and I believe you are going to get there. I don't want to hit the $500,000 as a single person, because I will do this just with me not streaming, but I want to stream because I believe the learning process is very, very much more important. If I can be able to teach hundreds or thousands of people how I go about this process, me doing that, that is even much more better of an experience than the funds themselves. So I don't just look at the funds. Yes, the funds, we are going to code out these particular products and we are going to hit them, but if I'm able to be a part of other people's journey and work with them to hit this and get guidance from them, because I know you already some of you are already working on various apps. So if I'm already I'm in the process and I'm ready to I'm able to share in on what you do, then it becomes quite an enriching process. That is why I always request people to subscribe, because when you subscribe, it becomes quite enriching. So we already have some errors. Let's send them to the agent and input a request to refine them. So as you made the refinement in the implementation plan, we got these errors. Can you please solve these errors without distorting the code that you've already set out? And from refining, you give us a walkthrough of how you've solved the various requirements that were required in our implementation plan. So let's work on that. So they have not seen the refinements set out as we wanted. So now I think the title has been set out, but it's not showing what we want. So let's input a further request. I think it's going to be for one element. So when it comes to the title, currently it has been aligned in the center, but this is what we are seeing for the title. I'm going to write it here. Text, title text, so this is what we are seeing, 1, 2, 3, and sub text. The subtext is item, type, document. Also, let's go to the card below, which is the print card. And for the text, let's type this. And for the text, and for the print card, print card text, we are viewing the following text. So let's also type it here. Item, because it's not supposed to show the strings, it is supposed to dot print, then card. So currently that is what we are seeing. So what is supposed to be seen for the header text is the real name of this particular item, and then the subtext shows the number of the items as it was set before. Then for the print card, we are just supposed to view the name of the card as we are viewing for the share and lock cards. So that means the share and lock cards are set out very well, but for the print card, the name is not set out very well. So as a senior engineer, I want you to look into this and be able to refine these texts. And when it comes to logic, translation logic, ensure that the translation logic is also set out very well for the titles, the subtext, and for the print card and all other cards and all texts on this card, to ensure that when we translate or change the logic of our app from English to other languages, we can be able to view the texts in those particular languages, given that our app is going to be used by different kinds of people. So let's put in this follow-up request for the agent to look at it, because at least yes, it was refined. Because we have the micro animations, this card goes up and the title shrinks, which is quite a very good animation that we wanted, but we are just fixing the texts and ensure that each and everything is set up very well. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and support me effectively on this amazing journey, which I believe is quite an amazing journey. And I believe I'm going to continue to showcase how I get to do things, which is quite important, and you are also going to benefit in terms of viewing each and every step of how I go about things. I don't want to keep anything, because I believe when I share what I know, I benefit much more in the learning process. So I believe it's going to be a learning process for me from this time to the time when we hit the $500,000, but also I believe it's going to be a learning process for thousands of people. So if you want to be a part of the journey, please subscribe, like the video, so that we can be able to hit our goal, but most importantly for us to get this video to even much more people who need it and want to view this process unfold at a free cost. So we have an implementation plan, a new one. Let's proceed. This is the implementation plan, which includes the instructions that we've given. So let's proceed. So it's make the refinements. What we want to view the real names of the app. I'm going to wait for it to finish up with the refinements that it is making, and then I will review them. It is so I think it has completed. Let's relog in into the app and look at those refinements. If you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe and support this journey. It's one of the freest things that you can do to support me on this particular journey. But most importantly, I believe that when you are part of this community, at the end of the journey, it's going to be a beneficial process for me and for you as I showcase what I'm working on. So now, this is our item. Everything is sorted very well. The texts have been fixed, because currently we had a text that was showing a number. The header text was showing a number 1, 2, 3, and the one below was showing a string. So we never wanted to see the string. The string is supposed to be in the back end. We are supposed to see the real name of the card itself. So also when it comes to the printable card, the text that's been shifted very well. So what we are going to do here, So what we are going to do currently, we are going to, I think, refine this text, which is the printable card, and ensure that it's aligned in the center from the right to the left. Only that, and then we shall proceed to the next screen. So let's put in the request. Now we are going to refine something small. We are going to ensure that when it comes to the printable card, rather to the printable card text, we are going to refine it in the center of its print card from the right to the left. Currently it's leaning so much on the left hand side, so we're going to refine it and place it in the center from the right to the left. That is the little refinement that you are going to do. As you are making it, please do not tamper with the logic that you've already set up. Just make that refinement. I will review it. So let's make that refinement and continue. Let's refine that little bit. Well, we are getting an error. Let's send these problems to the agent. When you made the refinement for the text, the printable card text, to place it in the center, to align it in the center from the right to the left of its card, currently we are getting these errors. Can you please work on them effectively well and ensure that they are set up very well? So let's work on that. I'm going to further call upon the people who have not yet subscribed. Please subscribe and join the process. And I'm sure that when you join our community, you're going to learn a lot. So I can see that you made some refinements, but currently when it comes to the printable card, the text is leaning so much on the left still. The changes have not been effected. When it comes to the share card and the lock card, the text is placed right where it's supposed to be placed in the middle. Maybe you can use the share card and the lock card as references in terms of how the logic for the text should be done. And ensure that the printable card, for the printable card, its text, which is the printable card text, should be shifted to in the middle and aligned in the center of this particular card from the right to the left. It's a minor refinement that you should look in and sort out without distorting any other code that we have in our app. So here at least we get to even view the review changes that were made, the lines that were made, which is quite good if you want to review and go deep into the code of what is being changed and refined. It's quite amazing to view that. So let's wait for those refinements to be made. And for the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, because when you subscribe, you keep me accountable, but you also give me much more video continue with to work on what you are working on. This card, it's becoming an issue. Which is what you... So for the printable card, still the changes have not been effected. What we need to do, I want you to look at the logic. First of all, look at the logic in the share card and the lock card, which are aligned very well. Their texts are aligned very well. But for this text, which is the printable card, it's quite long and it's not aligned in the center. So you can maybe rewrite it from printable card to print, and ensure that the text alignment resembles what we have in the share and lock cards, that it's aligned in the center from the right to the left of the card. So please do that. But create a fresh implementation plan for it that is quite solid. I'll look at it and then we'll proceed and you refine it. But also ensure that when you're changing the text, the adherence in terms of translation logic is set up very well for this particular language, which is English, and for other languages, so that when we translate to other languages, the text in that particular card is well translated. So let's continue. So let's continue to work on this. It's we are refining just a little bit of the printable card button. And after that, we are going to continue. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and join this journey where we are anticipating to hit $500,000 from vibe coded apps, and we are working on one of our apps, which is an app that enables people to save and locate the items where they save their valuables effectively well. So we have quite a detailed implementation plan. Let's proceed. Earlier we tried to work on it without an implementation plan, but I believe that is the cause of why it's not being set out very well the way we want it. So let's use an implementation plan, which is the better practice that I would recommend if you are making an approach to creating anything. So for the people who have not yet subscribe and support the journey. The most important thing is for us to create apps that people love, because our kind of approach is to focus on the problem-centric approach. Like I told you, you wouldn't really want to build out an app that is not required by any people. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are certain things that are already dragging people, that are being used by people, and you can go in the app store and identify these apps where people have real needs. You can look at how they have built them out. Maybe you can identify how you can make refinements to them, which is quite good. So let's look at the changes that were made. let's accept them. The changes are being made, but they are not affected here, so I can't view them. Let me reprompt and make an inquiry why the changes are not being seen. Thank you so much for making that. So the changes are not being made on the right screen. So let's go back. Let's take it back. So I think it was making it on the print screen. So it's supposed to make it on the items screen. Let's refresh this. So when it comes to that implementation plan that you've laid out, I want you to add this. The change that you are making, it is on the printable card that is on the items screen. So ensure that you refine that little bit, because I have just identified that you were making the changes on the wrong screen, but particularly on the printable card. So refine that little bit of the implementation, and then we can go on to make the implementation plan. So I think it was refining, because when we click on this, we are redirected here. Which is quite good, but we shall come to this to refine it. It's quite a good card. So we shall refine that. Let's so let's proceed. And ensure we make that change. If you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe and join the journey, because when you join me, it's something that is quite enriching for me, and it gives me the vigor to continue showcasing what I'm working on live, which I believe it's something that you can effectively benefit from, and something that I'm benefiting from, because I enjoy showcasing and teaching other people what I know, because I believe it is something that is quite crucial. Now it has been fixed, because it was the agent was working on a different kind of screen. It was making refinements on a screen that it was not supposed to make refinements on, which is not what we wanted. So this is our screen. So I think it has made the refinements on it. So on this particular screen, we are going to refine the screens that take us because we have 3 further screens. When you look at here, we have the share card. The share card is set out very well. I love it. So for the share card screen, I'm just going to refine I think the cards for the location path. That is all I'm going to refine, but I believe it's quite good. So with the share card, we can be able to share this. Let's say if you've forgotten something, you at home, rather you are at work and you are at home, then you've forgotten something that you want maybe to get someone to locate it for you when they are in that particular location where you've stored your item. So this is the card that you can share with them, so they can be able to know where have you stored that particular item. So when you go here, this is our item. We have the location path. So when you go to the share screen, you look at the share screen, you can get to see that you can share your app on WhatsApp. You can share it in your messages. You can share it via email. You can airdrop it. You can copy the link. So it becomes quite simple for someone to share the location of that particular item if they want someone who is in that location to look for it effectively well. So we are going to also work on this screen. But what we are going to first work on, we are going to work on two elements. We are going to work, because when we go here, I want you to look at this location path, and I want you to look at these cards. The cards look quite beautiful. They are much more better. But when we go on the share screen, we are seeing this, which is quite generic. So we are going to change this. That is the first refinement that you're going to change on this screen. When we go below, I think these elements are set out very well. The names of how we are going to share via WhatsApp, messages, email, and airdrop. What we are going to do with this, we are just going to input the logic for sharing. But let's first work on this issue for the location path, which is quite good. So let's reference this screen. So now we are going to make refinements to this particular screen, which is the share card screen. Now what we are going to do, when it comes to the location path, we are going to transform the look of the path location cards. Currently they are quite generic for this screen, but we've already set up a logic for the location path in our previous screen, which is there. So let's reference it. So let's go back and look at it. It is the item screen. So I want you to use the cards, the look of the cards, the location path colored kind of directory path that is set up in the location path to refine what to refine how the cards for the location path is going to look on the share screen. So you're going to use the one in the items as a reference to refine, so that we have something that is similar in terms of the steps of where the item is located. So you're going to refine that particular bit of so this means that the refinement you are going to do is on the share screen, but you are going to use the items screen's location path and exactly the design of the cards, the text cards for the path as a reference to refine how that path on the share card should look. Now for this particular request, I want you to restructure it, create a new implementation plan, but use the prompt structure that we have in the master prompt markdown file that I'm referencing here. So let's reference this. And let me reference them. Now when it comes to the instructions that are set out in this document, that include the constants that we should follow when we are setting out various elements in our app, ensure that for this particular request the instructions that are relevant are added to the implementation plan that you're going to provide. Now let's now when it comes to the various enhancing the user experience, mostly the peak end user experience for the users, as you are making refinements for this, ensure that you add visible micro animations to this particular screen. But you're going to follow the instructions that are set out in our peak end user experience framework. It's quite a detailed framework, so look into it as a senior engineer. Identify what we need that applies to this particular, include that in the refinements that you're going to make, and I believe that you're going to give me a detailed process of how you're going to implement the micro interactions in the implementation plan. Provide the implementation plan to me with all the detailed instructions of what is in this request. I'm going to review it and then we go on to make the changes. So let's go forward and work on this. Let's work on this and then we can review it. So what we are currently working on, we are refining, we are trying to refine. When you look at our location path in terms of the texts, and it's quite great. We can be able to view these these cards very well because they are colored. But again, when we we click on the share screen, these are quite generic as you see them, but when you go back to this screen, they are quite laid out, so we want to refine them to look like this. That is what we are working on. I'm going to call upon the people who have not yet subscribed to please subscribe. Now we have the implementation plan for this particular functionality. We are going to let the agent work. It has set it up very well using our framework. Remember, like I told you earlier, we have a framework which is quite solid. For each instructions we give it generically, just like how you would give the instructions, and then we tend to refine it to the tune of what we want for it to be an engineer level kind of prompt. So that is what we have. So we are going to proceed and we make the changes. I'm calling upon the people who have not yet subscribed. Please subscribe to this particular channel, so that you can become a part of the journey. The process, as to me as a person, I believe it's quite as important as the journey itself. So we look to continue these streams until when we hit this figure. But I believe I'm going to hit this figure with the help of the community that is going to join me along the way. So please, if you love the process, I'm going to call upon you to please make it upon make it an endeavor to please subscribe, because when you subscribe you keep me accountable, and that is quite good. We are going to further align certain things. Currently I can't view the shadow effect above here, so we are going to refine that. But the location path has been set out very well. We are able to see the path of where the item might be stored. We are also able to see the notes. I think this is a simplicity when it comes to this particular card, so we don't have to strain in terms of what the card should have. We have set out, it has the icon, it has the name of the elements. Because when we go back here, let's go back. I want to go back and show you something. When we go back here, I want to show you something. Yes, this is a screen that I wanted you to see. So when we are here and we are saving several elements to our app, you see we have several icons. We have up to 200 icons that someone can choose from, and they can choose that. They can also choose the category of this particular item that they are saving, which is quite good. The name, they can take the photo. It becomes quite good for them to save their item here, which is very good. So when we go back on, let's say first of all take this screen below. When we go to these elements, this is how it looks, the screen. So when you click on the share card, this is how the share card looks. It's quite good that the share card looks that way. It has been set up. So now what we are going to work on, we are going to just work on refining this share card text. We need to move it, align it in the center. We need first of all to decrease on its height and move it a bit up, which is the header text, and then align it in the center. I believe that is the only change that we are going to make when it comes to the alignment. And then after, we are going to ensure that the logic for the sharing to WhatsApp, messages, sharing to email, airdrop, and copying the emails are all set up very well. For the people who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. When you subscribe, you join this journey. I believe it's a beautiful journey, because when I create these apps, when you are viewing, it enriches me more in the process of learning and improving on how I go about this process. But I believe it's also going to be a learning point for the people who have joined and can be able to get access to the new streams that I'm going to make firsthand, and all the information that I'm going to showcase on this particular channel. So please subscribe. We have our goal. We want to hit 200 likes for this particular video, so also like the video so that it's quite good for even other people who would love to view this video in real time and then even after. So let's go. Now we are going to on this particular share screen, we are going to refine the alignment of the header text. Currently the header text is a bit below. We are going to move it slightly up, and we are also going to align it in the center from the right to the left of the screen itself. So that means we are for the header, we are going to decrease on the header height so that the text is moved a bit up on the screen, but also to align it in the center from the right to the left. So let's make that refinement very well. Let's make the refinement and ensure that the text is set up very well. On our screen we have various sharing options. We have an option to share this particular card on WhatsApp. We have an option to share it on the messages, email, airdrop, and even copy the link. Now we need to set up a backend logic for these functionalities to ensure that they work very well. We need to set them up to ensure that they work very well. So we need to set up that logic to ensure that the sharing options work very well and for the intended options. Also, when it comes to the top width of our share card, currently I cannot be able to view the shadow effect of the top width of this card. That means that the header is kind of blurring this. You should include space in between the header itself and this particular card so that the shadow effect of that top part is quite viewable. These are the three refinements that we are going to make on this particular screen. So let's use our master prompt. Now for this particular screen, in regards to the three refinements that you are going to make, ensure that you recreate a fresh implementation plan that includes each and every request and logic that needs to be refined as instructed. So let's reference our documents, which are quite important. Now, as you are creating the implementation plan for this particular request, ensure that the rules that are set up in the skills document, the front-end skills markdown document, the themes markdown document, that they are adhered to when you are making refinements, so that we have consistency for our particular for this particular app. Look into those instructions and ensure that they are set up very well in regards to what is requested. In fact, in regards to the three requests for this particular implementation plan that you're going to set up, and include it in them. I'm going to review the implementation plan, and then we shall proceed to make the refinements. So let's continue. The reason as why I have those files, which we have the skills file, we have I think I should as it's making that refinement, I should go and look at those files. So this is the master prompt. So this is our master prompt that we have. So you can see it has the task. There are certain instructions that we've set out very well in terms of what it is supposed to follow. For our particular app, it is set out very, very well. So it is supposed to adhere to what is in this implementation plan. Also, when it comes to these other documents that are referenced in the implementation plan, let's go and look at them. So we have the themes document. Let's look at these themes. I want to look at them briefly before we proceed, because it's quite important for me to so these are the documents. We have the front end skills. So this document is detailed with the guidelines of how each request must be executed in terms of the front end aesthetics, the guidelines we should follow, the typography, the color, the theme, the emotion, the Lottie integrations, the logic of how it is supposed to be, the spatio composition. So we have instructions that are quite bold in terms of how you're going to approach, because when you give the agent generic instructions, you're going to get generic functionalities, and you're going to reprompt and reprompt and reprompt, which makes the process quite tiresome. But if you have set instructions, it becomes quite good. So that is how we've set it up very well. I'm going to further call upon the people who may not have subscribed to please subscribe as we continue with this stream. So now let's proceed with our particular implementation of what we are working on. We are refining this text. We want to align it in the center. We also want to ensure that there is space in between this header and the card, so that this top part of the card we are able to view it very well. Also, we are setting up logic that will ensure that the navigation to WhatsApp, for someone sharing the card on WhatsApp, it is set up very well. So let's work on it. I think when it comes to this particular card, I think that is something that we shall add later. We need to add our right-hand side in this very same column. We need to add our logo here, which is the kept logo. It is quite important, but currently we are just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to leave it as it is, but I believe it's something that can promote, because if someone can share your card with someone else, maybe someone who is not on the platform, they can be able to locate that item even when they are not on the platform. But still, when you add your logo there, or maybe even the name of the app, it makes it can really be a form of marketing to reach out to even more people who might be interested in using your app, someone who has never used it. But if they see a card like that and it works for them to locate something, then they might have the use to download your app even without you inputting in costs for I can say marketing. So it is something that we shall add to the card, but I believe it will come later. We are working on the essentials currently to ensure that we just refine the text and we ensure that everything is set up very well. Yes, the refinements have been made, but I'm not seeing the changes. Let's work on these problems. Let's work on them and we wait for the results of how we can look at it. For the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, because when you subscribe, you keep me very much it's a thrilling journey so far. I love it, and I believe I'm going to continue to work on this effectively well, and I'm going to showcase each and every process. So if you love the process, please subscribe to keep me accountable. Also, for the updates, I'm going to let you know that we've pushed one of the apps that we have worked on. It's in the test flight on iOS, and we are nearly going to launch it. When we launch it, I'll be able to share it so that you can be able to check it out. It's an educational app. This is our second app that we are working on, and I believe the journey is going to unfold in a much more beautiful way as we are working on even further apps. I'm waiting for it to finish up. I think we have to run this. Let's run it and review. I've not seen the changes yet, but we are going to run it. If they are not made, then we are going to refer to the implementation plan so that we can be able to make those changes effectively well. It's refreshing. Let's wait for it to finish up, and then we shall review it. So the agent is still working. Let's wait for it to finish up, and then we'll review the changes that are supposed to be made. I think it's trying to it installed the export clipboard dependency. Now it's trying to evaluate how the node modules are set up. So let's wait for that process to come to fruition, and then we can be able to review it. So I still have this error. So currently I don't see no refinements. Let me try to reload this. Let me try to reload the app, and we can be able to view this. Let me reload it, because I'm not seeing the changes. I want to view if the changes were made and they were not reloaded. And meanwhile, for the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe, because when you subscribe, you join the community. We are a fast growing community. It's already a community of 2,000 people. We are nearly approaching 3,000 people who are keeping me accountable on this journey to hit $500,000 from vibe coded apps. And I believe it's important to have people to keep me accountable on this amazing journey. So please subscribe and join. So let's restart this. Currently I think the Metro bundler was removed. That's why we're not getting feedback. So this is the feedback that we get. Let's get this. I think it became due to the premature installation of the clipboard dependency. So let's get this. So now when it comes to running the app, I'm getting this feedback instead of the Metro scannable bundler for the app. So I want you to look into it as a senior engineer so that we are able to debug it without distorting logic for our app, and so that we can be able to load our app effectively well. This was supposed to be engineer. I think it was typing even here, so let's allow this. If you've not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe and join me on this amazing journey of vibe coding apps until when we hit $500,000. We are currently restoring our Metro bundler. We made some refinements. I think we were trying to the agent was installing the export clipboard dependency, and it brought in some errors. So let's refine the node module logic, and then from there we can be able to review the changes that were made for our particular share screen. We have the implementation plan. That includes the restore plan. Let's proceed. Let's continue and make those changes very well, because when we run our command here, we are not able to get a Metro bundler which is supposed to appear very well. So let's rerun that and fix it. And for the people who have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Do not hesitate to subscribe, because when you subscribe, you keep me very much accountable on this journey, and I believe the experience is even much more great. It's going to get better as we continue. I also have a goal of hitting 200 likes on this particular stream, so please like this video. When you like the video goes out to even more people who really need it, people who want to learn this process, people who are looking to start the process, people who are already in the process, who are looking to improve how they approach it. So please, when you like the video, it pushes it to even more people. So please, on top of the subscriptions, please like the video, because that is even something much more that you do for us as a channel, to push our videos to even more people who are ready to learn from our process that we've committed ourselves to. So the agent is resolving it, and then we shall continue. Let's wait for it to accomplish that, because we can't run the command here to load our app using Expo Go. So I'm using Expo. That is how I'm able to view this app and the progress of it. So I need for the Metro bundler to load very well. We are making some refinements, and yes, we got some distortion in terms of the node module logic. So currently we are restoring that, and then we shall continue. So let's continue. Allow the agent to work. So let's retry to run it here. So it's saying it has resolved it, so I'm going to look at it anyway. If it is resolved, and then after we're going to rerun the app. So let's wait for Metro Bundler to finish up. I think for this one we are going to kill it. So let's use this command that the agent gave us, first of all, to clear what we have and run it in a fresh way. So let's wait for it to load, and then from there we can be able to review. The changes very well. It's taking some time. Let's rerun it here. Let's wait for that. It's quite fast. I think what I'm going to do, the right approach is that I'm going to first of all stop the terminal, and I'm going to open it as a new terminal. So let me run it as a new terminal and try to redo the process. So Google anti-gravity is taking some time, but definitely I know it's going to open up because it's quite essential. Given that I'm using export to connect our app, I need to run it. And set it up very well, which is quite important. Well, we are still getting some errors. I suspected this because it was taking lots of time. So let's push this to the chat request. Let's repush this. So when we run the command, so let's copy this command and put it here. We are getting that particular error that I've referenced in the terminal. I want you to look at it. I believe this could be a problem that is emanating from the recent API that you installed. As a senior engineer, I want you to look into this error and where it might be coming from rather. If you are missing out on certain dependency, please let me know so that we can set it up effectively well and ensure that when we put in this error, we can be able to view everything quite well. So let's wait for anti-gravity too. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to manually rather mpx install. I think we missed install expo clip. So let's work on that. It's not running, so let's wait for this process to finish up. I was trying to run this command and see if it runs. So I think the error is emanating from the modules. So let's work on that. So let's wait for the fix to be so let's use this command, which is clear offline, and then we see how it works out. There are chances that this one might load and work out very well. There we go, we have it. So let's rerun our app with this and we look at it. So let's reload it, and then we can look at that particular refinement that we are working on before. And for the people who have not yet subscribed, I'm going to call upon you to please subscribe. We are on our journey to build out various apps and hit $500,000 in revenue from these apps. So if you want to be a part of the journey, please you can subscribe, which is the first and most and freest method of how you can be able to support it. But if there is any other support that you feel is quite important that you can offer, then I'm very glad to welcome that as well. So let's continue with working on this particular app. We are trying to reload the app so that we can view what we worked on earlier on the share screen. It's taking out some time, so I'm going to cancel it, and I'm going to run it fresh, which is quite let's run it fresh. The new setup. I think it's patching up, which is quite good. So let's wait for it to load up, and then we can continue. For me, one of the most important things or the exciting journeys is that I believe it comes down to the approach. These tools are very good, they are very efficient. Each and anyone can be able to use them to create web apps, create mobile apps, but it's going to come down to how you approach the process of how you're building out. The process is necessary in terms of how you the different kinds of elements that you're going to include in your app. How are they going to functionally work for the user, but how are they also going to psychologically work for the user? Because these are two very important things. The psychological value part of it is that when someone goes to an app, let's say when someone is using a certain app and they are using it from they're using an iPhone, when they're using the iPhone is much more better. But also when you look at the Android part of it, yes, the functional value is going to be there. The apps they work very well when it comes to Android and iOS, but when it comes to the feel that people get when they are using iPhones, it's quite a very enriching experience, which is far beyond what you can explain when it comes to Android phones. So that difference of the psychological value that you add on the app is what is going to make the app even much more special. So that for the people that you get to the app, people who are going to maybe for the first time try out your app in terms of the trials, or even go on to pay the subscription, they would love to feel like you're giving them an experience that is quite good, and for them to stay and be able to use your app. So the things that you're going to add in are going to increase the retention, and these are the things that we emphasize in most of the documents that we reference when we are giving instructions. So it is quite important that you get that systematic approach, because when you don't have it, it's going to be quite a difficult thing for you to be able to execute these apps in a much more better way. And that to me counts. It counts that I can have an approach that is quite solid to go through, and I can be able to go through it as I work on the features. That is why to me it's not about a rush. I know there are certain people who would want to get access to tutorials where they tell them, you're going to build an app in 2 days, 3 days, you're going to build it in a few minutes. Yes, you can do it, but can it ably compete with apps that are well thought out, apps that are going to engage users, apps that are going to increase on the retention of users when they are using the app? Because it is important. It is one thing to bring a user to an app, but it's also another thing to retain them on the app, which is quite important. So when you look at that kind of approach, to me, I believe the approach of creating apps that are going to retain people, it's quite important. Because let's say your LTV, which is the lifetime value, and with lifetime value I mean the period through which users are going to subscribe to your app to make a paid subscription and they pay. So your lifetime value could be 2 months, could be something like, let's say, 2 months or 3 months. So if someone is able to pay for your app for 3 months consecutively, then that means they have enjoyed what you're doing, and they feel like it's an app where they are. If you're even able to retain them for 5 months, 9 months, that is even much more better. But the only way you retain them is by creating something that is quite solid in terms of their user experience. Yes, you can have the functionality and maybe build it in a few hours, which is good, but is it going to retain people? That is the biggest question that you're going to ask yourself. And to me, that is what I focus mostly on the retentive part of the app. I always want to have the app quite built out and beautiful, so that the people who use it feel like they should come back and use it effectively. So this is our card, which was refined quite well. So it was refined quite well. So when you look at this, just like I've told you, I want you to look at this. I want you to look at these animations. I have animations on most of these screens because I want the user experience to be quite good. I want the users to feel like they're using something that is really contributing to them in a much more better way. So you see, when we slide these, this one comes back. You slide this and the other comes back. It makes the experience even much more enriching, and I believe this is what is going to keep the users in, because they feel like the app is quite working out for them. So let's continue. So we've refined the share screen. Let's go to the lock screen. I think here when it comes to the lock, we need to animate the lock, this lock process. For the lock icon to appear, we need to animate it. we are going to work on a few elements. Let's put in a request. So before we do that, let's put in lock. So this is our lock screen. So we're going to refine this particular screen, and we are going to ensure, first of all, currently we have a close button for this screen. That close button, we are going to remove it. For the enable lock button, we are going to move it a bit up. We need to be able to move it a bit up and reposition it. And the other thing that we are going to work on, we are going to work on the animation of this lock file. So what we are going to animate, we are going to include an animation of a deprecated pins. We're going to include an animation of deprecated pins that are input with 4 digits, and after that process happens, it's going to be animated. So as that animation is happening, we have a lock screen, that is rather a lock icon that is opened, and after that that animation happens, the lock icon is going to be animated to lock up. So the process of adding the animation to this particular screen, it is to further reassure or urge the users to add lock functionality to their particular items, because some of the items that they are storing are quite confidential, so they would love to lock these, so that even when someone has access to their phones, they cannot be able to view where they stored those particular items. But we want to animate this process to make the user experience even much more better. So let's refresh the peak document. Now, in terms of the peak end experience, for the users to have a better peak end experience, I want you to go through the peak end framework and please identify, given the instructions that we've given, identify how you can make these micro interaction even much more engaging before the lock and after the lock. So the micro animations should be there. You should have a micro animation for after the lock or even before the lock to make the experience even much more. So that means this micro interaction is going to happen before we click the enable lock button, but even after we click it. So now for the master prompt, I want you to ensure that you create a fresh implementation plan that follows or adheres to the structure that is laid in the master prompt document. So let's reference these. So now when it comes to these 3 documents that I've referenced, please ensure that for the implementation plan, it has to be set up to adhere to the rules and logic that is set up in these documents, to ensure that we have consistency on this screen, just like what we might be having in terms of the instruction for other screens. So look into these documents extensively and ensure that the implementation plan references them and what should be set out from these particular documents. Provide the implementation plan to me. I'm going to look into it, and then we go on to make this refinement. So we have the implementation plan. Let's proceed. So what we are working on, we are transforming the animations for this particular screen, and we are making a few alignment refinements for the button. What we want, we have something that we call the peak end user experience. It is quite important. Some people may not know it, but the peak end user experience is a document or a framework that allows you to create certain elements and instructions that are quite great for the users, so that when they get maybe to so this is our screen. Currently we had it was quite plain, but now when someone comes here, it says lock screen. When we click here, it's quite animated, so it locks. So you see, the animation itself is quite amazing, because when it locks, then we know, because the people are going to, or the logic that we are going to put in this screen is that, let's say, if someone is setting up their lock system for the first time, if they have not yet sent it, it's going to send that to, because we are going to use Firebase, it's going to send that request to Firebase to see if there is a lock pin for them. If they don't have a lock pin, then it's going to prompt them to the lock pin screen to be able to input a pin, and then it's going to finish that. But for the subsequent elements where it's going to lock up this, then it's going to just allow them to lock up this, which is quite good. So I wanted it to be something that is quite good, because you see, it's simple, but it adds reassurance to someone if they are using this particular feature and they feel like it adds reassurance that now like someone cannot be able to access this particular. So when you come here, this particular feature, when you come here and let's say you look at this, you're going to see a button like this, which is the lock button that reassures them that, you know what, this particular folder was locked, so nobody can So that means if the item is locked, it's going to show the last part of the screen where the screen is locked when they come here, and they can unlock it. If it's not locked, then they are going to see this, which is quite good. And we can go to the next screen. So this is our card, which is the print screen. Let's reference it. So with this, we are first of all. So let's work on this. This is so for this screen we are going to refine the texts, because when it comes to some texts that are returned for this particular screen, it is returning strings. So I'm going to note down the strings that are being returned here so that you can refine them for us to view real texts, which is what we desire to view. So let's reference them. Let's list them. Item.print dash title. So that is one of the strings that we are seeing. Underscore tag underscore info. That we are seeing is a item dot not placeholder common dot so let's also reference this common. I think it's in capital letters. So when it comes to this particular screen, these particular texts are returned as strings. What we would want, these texts to show their real names instead of strings. And also when it comes to translation logic, we would love the translation logic to be maintained so that when we switch language to other languages other than English, we can be able to view all the texts on this screen translated effectively well. So let's work on this one and ensure that we fix this particular element. So we are going to create a fresh implementation plan for this particular request. And the documents that are referenced below, the rules that are set out in these documents below should be effectively set out in the implementation plan. You need to ensure that the prompt structure that we have in the master prompt document I'm referencing is effectively followed to set out this implementation plan. I'm going to review the plan and then we can be able to go on to make these refinements. So we have the implementation plan. Let's proceed and implement it. Let's proceed to implement it. And then we can review. Currently we are getting strings for the titles of this particular card, but we wanted them to so let's I think the texts have been modified. So let's go to so let's go further to refine something when it comes to the location path. So we're going to further define the location path on this element. Using the location path colored text cards on so we have so what we are going to do, we are going to reference this. We want to change the location path here, because currently when we go to this, the location path looks quite good. So we are saying using the location path colored text card zone, which is the items ID items as reference. Let's refine the location cards on the print screen to ensure that the text cards for the location path are colored as what we see on the items screen. So let's reference also the peak user framework and enlarge on the instruction. Now when it comes to making the experience of the users much more better, I want you to look at the peak end user framework and suggest the necessary refinements when it comes to printing the card and micro interactions that are going to show before the printing of the card and even after the printing of the card. I want you to look into the extensive logic that ensures that we achieve the peak end user experience as in the document that I've refreshed, and suggest that in the implementation plan. Also ensure that you work on the print to PDF logic. We need to be able to print this. So that means it's going to when we press the print to PDF button, it's going to print this particular card. And what are we printing? We are just printing this card as it is, with its dimensions as you see them, because it's the card houses various elements. So this card itself that is being printed with these dimensions should be able to be viewable with its dimensions in a PDF file. So ensure that you input that logic too. So now when it comes to this particular request, I want you to rewrite a fresh implementation plan for this particular request, and you need to ensure that it follows the prompt structure that is in the master prompt markdown file that I've referenced. So let's refresh the themes, and also let's refresh the skills. These documents are quite important because they have the layout of each and everything that we need in terms of the consistent elements that the agent should adhere to when it is making refinements. So we wouldn't want to go into our code base and just make refinements. So we need things like the fonts, the colors, the cards, different kinds of logic that we've set out that applies to each and every screen. So we want those to be maintained. So when it comes to these documents, I want you to ensure that for the elements and rules that are set out in these documents, they should be adhered to as we are making the implementation plan, and as the plan that is laid out is going to be put in effect, we should adhere to the rules that are set out in these documents to maintain frequency. So you're going to look into them extensively and be able to suggest that in the implementation plan. Provide it to me, and I will review the implementation plan, and we can be able to proceed. So this is what we have, and for me, I believe it's quite a great and for us to get something like this, a result like this, after we've made a refinement, which is quite good. I love what we are getting. So we have the implementation plan. Let's look into it. It's quite solid because we have different kinds of functionalities, which is quite important. So let's proceed and make these changes. So let's wait these elements to be laid out very well. So you're trying to install dependencies that we are going to use for this particular functionalities. Remember, we are working on functionalities for printing. We wanted to be able to print this card, but also we are working on the share functionalities. So let's wait for this to be set. So let's continue with this refinement. So logic has been added, but I'm not sure whether we can be able to working well. So let's relearn it and relook into it. It's taking some time. I think it has reloaded. So let's reload it here. So let's go and check out So this is our print card. Currently, when you print, This is how our card is going to look. Which is quite good. I love the first sample. The logic is quite amazing. This is quite good. Thank you so much for creating this print. But I noticed some things that we need to refine. Now, when it comes to the location path, I want you to look at the exact kind of design of the location text cards on the screen. In its location path card, and ensure we design the ones on the print card just the same way. That is very, very important. Also, when it comes to the text generated by Keep, currently I see that you've pushed it outside the card. When it comes to the printing, it's viewable in the card, but when you view it here before printing, it's not really appearing very well. It should be enclosed within the card. You should work on that to reput it back within the card. Also, when it comes to the design of the print logic works very well, but I want the print logic to clone the exact design of the card that we have currently. So it shouldn't really take on a different design, but the exact kind of design in terms of the layout of the elements, the fonts, and all the cards and how they are laid out. That is how it should appear on the printed card in PDF. So please make further refinements on this, and ensure that as you are making them, do not tamper with elements that have already been set out on this particular screen that are not related to this particular request. So we have our implementation plan. Let's proceed to And so the payments are being made. We shall look at them. So let's go back and check. Perfect. I think the location path was set up very well, but in terms of the appearance of the card, let's look at it. So the card appearance, I believe it's set out very well. I love that animation, it's quite set out very well. So I think for now, for today, we are going to call it a stream. I want to thank you so much for watching up to this end, and we are going to continue on other refinements tomorrow. Then we continue to work on further elements of our app.